Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, here's a thought. What if we told you that some behaviors we often think are, uniquely human?
Like using tools.
Exactly, like using tools or teaching the young or even showing empathy. What if those are also found in our primate relatives?
That definitely makes you think.
Right. So today we're taking this really fascinating journey into the world of primates. Tiny lemurs, powerful gorillas. We'll explore what makes them so special and maybe surprisingly similar to us.
And our mission here for this deep dive is really to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from, well, quite a stack of detailed research.
Yeah.
We want to give you a kind of shortcut to being genuinely well-informed about primates. Hopefully spark some aha moments, share some surprising facts.
Absolutely. We've looked at in-depth discussions on primate characteristics, their really complex social lives, and even, where they fit in the big tree of life.
So get ready, maybe, to have some assumptions challenged.
Definitely. So where do we even start with these incredible creatures? Maybe right at the beginning, how they raise their young.
That's a great place to start because primates invest huge amounts of time and energy in their offspring.
Okay.
This long period of care, it really shapes their intelligence, their social bonds. It's fundamental.
And the pregnancies are long, right? I saw some numbers. Lemurs, like 4 months.
Around that, yeah. And chimpanzees, closer to 7 months.
And us humans, about 9 months. So why? Why would a longer pregnancy be beneficial for a primate compared to other animals? Any ideas?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
And it really ties into how their brains develop. See, unlike lots of other animals born pretty ready to go,
Right?
primate babies come into the world with brains that are, well, much less developed.
Okay, so they need more help.
A lot more help. They rely heavily on their parents for a long time. Significant parental care until they can manage on their own.
And that's the parental investment thing.
Exactly. It's so intense that primates usually just have one baby at a time.
Yeah.
Unlike dogs with a whole litter.
Quality over quantity.
Precisely. It's a big evolutionary bet, focusing all that energy on making sure that one offspring survives and thrives.
That sounds incredibly demanding for the parents. And if the brain develops so much after birth, they're not just running on instinct then.
Not at all. That post-birth development is key. It means primates depend heavily on learned behaviors.
Learning from parents, from the group.
Yes. Much more than just relying on built-in instincts. This helps them build advanced cognitive skills, adaptability.
Which makes them smart.
Incredibly intelligent, yeah.
Yeah.
Capable of learning complex things, being trained. It really sets them apart.
It's amazing how much happens after they're born. And that adaptability, that intelligence, it must show up in how they move too, right? Getting around their world.
Oh, absolutely. Primates are masters of movement, perfectly suited to their environments.
So what kind of movement are we talking about?
Well, you've got things like vertical clinging and leaping, or VCL.
Okay, what's that?
Imagine a primate, maybe a lemur, clinging upright to a tree trunk, and then launching itself, just pow, vertically to another trunk or branch.
Oh.
Their hind legs are like springs, powerful push-off. But to do that successfully, they need amazing 3D vision, depth perception.
Right, to judge the distance. How critical do you think that depth perception is for leaping through trees like that?
Absolutely essential.
Yeah.
You misjudge that leap and, well, it's a long way down.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, what else?
Then there's brachiation. That's the graceful swinging, arm over arm, branch to branch.
Like gymnasts?
Exactly like gymnasts on uneven bars. Needs long arms, super strong curved fingers, really flexible shoulders. Gibbons and Siamangs are the classic brachiators.
Gibbons and Siamangs. Okay.
Then you get semi-brachiation. It's kind of a mix, but with a twist.
The twist?
They use their prehensile tail, a tail that can grip things.
Like a fifth hand?
Pretty much. Helps them grasp and hold on. Right? Spider monkeys are famous for this. They look almost like spiders moving through the canopy.
Spider monkeys. But not all monkeys have that tail, right?
Key fact. Only New World monkeys, the ones in the Americas, have prehensile tails. Old World monkeys don't.
That's a huge difference. What about just walking on all fours? Quadrupedalism.
Yep, quadrupedalism is common. Just walking or running on four limbs. You see it in trees. That's arboreal quadrupedalism.
Do they use their tails then?
Often, yeah, for balance. Like an acrobat's pull on a tightrope. Colobus monkeys are a good example.
Okay.
And they see it on the ground. Terrestrial quadrupedalism. These guys tend to have shorter tails, stronger limbs, more stable shoulders.
Like gorillas.
Well, gorillas and chimps have a special kind. Knuckle walking. They support their weight on their knuckle.
Right. And then finally, there's us. Bipedalism.
Walking on two legs, yeah. It's our main way of getting around.
But we're not the only ones who do it.
Not entirely. Chimps and gorillas sometimes walk bipedally, especially when they're displaying, showing off.
But our bodies are really built for it.
Oh, definitely. Our adaptations are clear. Shorter arms, longer legs, that arched foot for shock absorption, a broad pelvis to support everything upright.
Okay, so from movement, let's zoom out. The big picture, the family tree. How do all these different primates relate, and where do we fit in?
It's a big family. Understanding the classification really helps see the path to humans. So first, big split. Pimeians and anthropoids.
Pimeians, like lemurs.
Exactly.
Right.
They're considered the least evolved primates. Tend to rely more on smell. They have flatter noses, nostrils pointing forwards. That's called plattering.
Plattering, flat nose. Got it.
Generally less developed 3D vision, often active at night, claws instead of flat nails, usually smaller brains and bodies. Lemurs in Madagascar are the classic example.
Okay, so pimeians and the other branch.
Anthropoids. That's monkeys, apes, and us humans, the more evolved group.
What makes them more evolved?
Less reliance on smell, sharper noses, nostrils pointing down, catarrhine.
Catarrhine, downward nose. Okay.
Better 3D and color vision, usually active during the day, flat nails, bigger brains, bigger bodies generally.
And anthropoids split further, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Into New World monkeys found in the Americas often have those prehensile tails.
Right, the grabby tails.
And Old World monkeys, more evolved, no prehensile tails, often live in mixed tree ground habitats.
And then where do apes and humans come in?
Within the Old World group, you get the hominoids. That's all apes, gibbons, siamangs, orangutans, gorillas, chimps, bonobos, and humans.
So hominoids includes us. Is there another step?
One more. Within hominoids, there's the hominids. That's our specific branch. Humans, Homo sapiens, and our extinct ancestors like Neanderthals.
Wow. Okay, that clarifies things. So thinking about this classification, these evolutionary trends, it really puts humans into perspective, doesn't it? How does it help you understand where we stand in the bigger picture?
It shows we're deeply connected, part of this long branching story, not separate from it.
Okay, let's shift from the what to the how. The social world of primates. It seems like really practical things, like finding food and avoiding danger, shape how they live together.
Absolutely. Group size, daily routines, it's all shaped by survival needs.
So what decides if a primate group is small or large?
A key factor is body size. And energy needs the basal metabolic rate, BMR.
BMR, how much energy they burn just resting.
Exactly. Smaller primates have a higher BMR. They burn energy faster, need lots of high-energy food like nuts, seeds.
Which are often scattered around.
Right. So that favors smaller, more spread-out groups. Larger primates have a lower BMR. They can get by on less energy-dense stuff like leaves, grass.
Which is usually more abundant.
Generally, yes. So they can support larger social groups.
Makes sense. What about predators? Safety in numbers.
Definitely. If there's a high risk of being hunted, especially for smaller primates, forming larger groups is a good defense strategy.
And does it matter if they're active day or night?
It does. Nocturnal primates active at night tend to live in smaller groups. Big groups make too much noise, attract predators in the dark.
Ah, stealth mode.
Kinda, yeah. Diurnal primates active in the day aren't as limited by that. And remember that long parental care.
Yeah, the heavy investment.
That also promotes a group lifestyle. Needing that support network is a really deep-rooted thing for primates, maybe even influencing our own social tendencies. It's called a primordialist trait.
Primordialist, like from the very beginning. Okay. So, groups need structure. Leaders. Hierarchies. Who's in charge?
Primate groups almost always have these social ladders, dominance hierarchies. They decide who gets first dibs on resources, food, mates, good resting spots.
So the alpha.
Well, yes, but being alpha isn't always what people imagine. Status isn't just won by fighting.
How else then?
Intelligence, age, building strong friendships, forming alliances. It's complex, and it's not fixed.
Ranks can change.
Oh, yeah. Age, health, social maneuvering. A younger, stronger, or maybe just more politically savvy individual can definitely challenge the top spot.
So the hierarchy isn't just about fighting, it helps the group.
It does. It provides stability, protection, and ensures the dominant ones get priority access to things needed for reproductive success.
Yeah.
And the young ones learn the rules just by watching.
Now, you mentioned the alpha idea is maybe misunderstood. Franz de Waal, the primatologist, had some interesting things to say about that.
He really did. De Waal showed that the alpha male stereotype of just being a bully is often wrong.
How so?
While they're impressive, maybe intimidating, true alphas can also be surprisingly generous, sharing food, He even observed them tickling infants to get on the good side of females.
Tickling infants. Okay, that's not the stereotype.
Not at all. They also act as peacekeepers, stopping fights, often impartially, sometimes even siding with the underdog. That makes them popular, strengthens their position.
So it's more about social skill?
A lot of it, yeah. But it's stressful. Studies on baboons showed high-ranking males had high cortisol stress hormones, similar levels to the lowest-ranking guys.
Wow. Pressure at the top and bottom. And it's not always males, right? Alpha females.
Absolutely. Mama, the chimpanzee, was a famous alpha female. And bonobo societies are often matriarchal, led by females.
So seeing this more nuanced picture of alpha leaders, does it make you think differently about leadership in human societies?
It certainly offers a different perspective, doesn't it? Less about pure dominance, more about connection and responsibility.
Definitely. Beyond hierarchy, how do they communicate? It's more than just grunts, right? A language beyond words.
Oh, much more. It's a mix of sounds, gestures, body postures, even smells. Their vocal communication is really sophisticated.
Like what?
Well, specific alarm calls for predators, contact calls to find each other, mating calls. But they're not random sounds.
How do we know?
Dorothy Chenow's experiments with vervet monkeys were groundbreaking. She played back recordings.
And
Mothers recognized their own babies' cries. They had different alarm calls for different predators. A leopard call sent them scrambling up trees. An eagle call made them look up and hide.
specific calls for specific threats.
Yes. And even more amazing, Campbell monkeys showed affixation. They'd add sounds to existing calls to mean a new kind of threat. That's innovation, like building new words.
Wow, affixation. That's incredible. So vocals are complex. What about body language?
Hugely important. Gestures, facial expressions,
Yeah.
an intense stare, that's usually a
And watch out for the stare.
A yawn, though, can be tricky. If it's shared, like contagious yawning, it can show bonding. But a yawn showing off big canine teeth, that's aggression.
Nuance. What about posture?
Crouching low signals submission. Standing tall, maybe swaggering on two legs like a chimp, that's dominance, maybe aggression.
And physical touch.
Very common for bonding. Hugging, kissing, patting each other on the back. Even mounting from behind can sometimes be like an apology or a way to reconcile.
Interesting. And smells? You mentioned smells. Like a scent-based Facebook?
Huh. Kind of.
Well,
Olfactory communication is big, especially for pimeians and some New World monkeys. They use scents from glands to mark territory, signal reproductive status, identify individuals, even convey emotions like stress.
so much information in a smell. And finally, displays, like showing off.
Yeah, display behaviors, gorillas thumping their chests, standing bipedally to look big and strong, aggressively shaking branches. It's all about communicating status or aggression.
Okay, so primate social life has hierarchy, communication, but it also involves conflict, right? Aggression.
It does. Aggression often comes from competition over limited resources, food, mates, space. That's intergroup aggression within the group.
In between groups.
That's intergroup aggression, usually about protecting territory. But most aggression isn't actually violent.
Really? How?
It's mostly warnings, facial expressions, sounds, postures. Physical fights, hitting, biting are usually a last resort when things really escalate.
So there's conflict, but there's also the opposite. Affection, selflessness.
Absolutely. Affiliation or bonding is key. Think about grooming.
Picking nits.
Well, picking out dirt, parasites, yeah. It's hugely important for social bonds. And forming coalitions, spending time together, supporting each other to gain status.
And altruism. Doing something for someone else at your own cost. That sounds very human.
It's thought to be. But we see it widely in non-human primates now. It's an extreme form of affiliation.
Can you give examples? This is fascinating.
Sure. Caregiving. For one, young chimps have been seen looking after old, dying females, keeping flies away, bringing food, allowing them a kind of dignified death.
Wow.
Or group protection. Dominant males might charge attackers, risking injury or death, to defend the group. First line of defense.
That's definitely altruistic.
And maybe the most striking, adoption. Chimps, gorillas, gibbons, siamangs, they've been seen adopting orphan infants, sometimes even babies from outside their own group. They show deep emotional responses, even mourning fake baby replicas if their adopted infant dies.
Adopting orphans from other groups, what does that tell you about their emotional depth that really makes you reconsider things?
It absolutely does. It suggests a capacity for empathy and care that we perhaps underestimated.
Incredibly moving. Okay, let's switch gears slightly to reproduction. Investing in the next generation. You mentioned males and females might have different strategies.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
For non-human primates, sex is primarily about reproduction. And unlike humans, where ovulation is hidden,
Right, concealed ovulation.
female non-human primates usually show very clear visible signs when they're fertile and ready to mate. Swelling, color changes in the genital area. This period is called oestrus.
Oestrus, okay. And males notice this.
Oh, they notice. They'll often engage in courtship behaviors during oestrus to try and impress the female before mating. Some species even form temporary bonds then.
Now, you mentioned K strategy versus R strategy before, quality versus quantity. Where do primates fit?
Primates are classic case strategists. High parental investment in just a few offspring, maximizing their chances of surviving to reproduce themselves.
So the single birth, the long dependency?
Exactly, that extensive postnatal investment, it's all K strategy. Our strategy is the opposite, lots of offspring, minimal care, hope some survive, think insects, maybe fish.
So for primates, it's quality, especially for females who carry the burden.
Precisely. The female strategy is strongly K-type. Long pregnancy, nursing, nurturing. It drains her physical resources. Her success lies in raising those few offspring well.
And males?
Males often lean towards an R-type strategy, relatively speaking. They typically invest very little directly in raising the young. Their reproductive success comes from mating with as many females as possible.
Which leads to polygyny. One male, multiple females.
Often, yes. That's a common pattern.
And this difference in strategy, it can lead to some really harsh behaviors like infanticide.
It can. Infanticide by males is a stark, though disturbing example of that male R strategy logic.
Why would a male kill infants?
When a new male takes over a group, the existing infants aren't his, and nursing females don't usually conceive. So by killing the infants...
He stops the females from nursing.
Right, which brings them back into oestrus sooner, so he can mate with them and father his own offspring. DNA tests confirm the killed infants are usually from the previous male.
That's brutal. You mentioned Richard Dawkins' selfish gene idea.
Yeah, it relates to that theory. The idea that genes themselves drive behaviors that ensure their own survival and replication, even if the actions seem detrimental to individuals. The gene wants to get passed on.
A sobering thought. Okay, last piece on social structure.
Yeah.
How are the groups actually arranged? Living arrangements, residence patterns.
Group structure is shaped by those factors we mentioned. Predation risk, food availability, and social competition within the group.
How so?
High predation risk might push for larger groups. Abundant food can support large groups. Scarce food often leads to smaller ones. Lots of internal competition for mates or status can cause groups to fragment, sometimes even leading to individuals living alone.
What are the common patterns?
One male with multiple females, polygynous, is common. That's where you often see that infanticide we discussed, like in langurs. Multi-male, multi-female groups are also common, like chimps and gorillas, with more promiscuous mating. One female with multiple males, polyandrous, is very rare, seen in some New World monkeys.
Yeah.
And monogamy, one male, one female, is also rare, but found in species like titty monkeys.
And solitary living. That seems odd for social animals.
It often happens temporarily when young individuals, usually males, leave their birth group. It's called dispersal.
Why leave?
To avoid incest inbreeding and to reduce competition. They might then try to join another group or start their own. Orangutan males show a more permanent solitary pattern, living alone and only meeting females to mate.
Okay, that covers a lot of ground on primate life. Now, the really big question, are humans truly unique? Or are we part of this primate continuum? Let's talk culture. We think of culture as our thing.
That's the traditional view, yeah. Sociocultural anthropologists often argued culture is unique to humans because, one, it's learned behavior, not instinct, and animals supposedly just have instincts.
Okay, point one, learned versus instinct.
Two, tool-making was seen as a sign of superior human intelligence.
Point two, tools.
And three, language complex symbols, talking about things not present, what's called displacement, was considered exclusively human.
Learned behavior, tools, language. The pillars of human uniqueness. But primatologists push back.
Strongly. There's compelling evidence against all 3 points.
Yeah.
Take learned behavior. Remember Emo, the Japanese macaque?
The one who washed potatoes.
Exactly. Learned to wash sand off sweet potatoes in a stream back in the 50s. Within a few years, all the younger monkeys in her group were doing it. Then they even started washing them in the ocean to add salt.
That's definitely learning and spreading through the group.
Clear social learning. And orangutans. Studies show distinct regional variations in about 19 different behaviors.
Like dialects.
Kind of. Sumatran orangs make fancy nests, Bornean ones make simpler ones, differences in calls, how they raise kids, even tool use, all varying by region. If a behavior spreads through learning and differs by location, doesn't that sound an awful lot like what we call culture?
It really, really does. Okay, what about point 2? Tool making. Surely that's special to humans.
Turns out, not so much. Chimpanzees used leaves as napkins, twigs as toothpicks.
That's simple stuff, though.
How about stones to crack nuts?
Yeah.
Or termite fishing? They find sticks, modify them to fit the termite mound hole.
Modify them.
Yeah, trim them, prepare them. They even bring prepared sticks with them to the mound. And critically, older males teach this skill to their sons.
Teaching tool use. Okay, that's significant.
And even more recently, chimps and bonobos have been seen making stone flakes, breaking stones to get sharper edges. Very reminiscent of early human tool making. So, seeing this, how might it change your definition of a tool or who gets to be a tool maker?
It definitely broadens the definition. Okay, final pillar. Language. That's got to be ours alone, right? Complex grammar, abstract thought.
Well, again, it depends how you define language. Apes don't have our vocal cords for speech, but the intelligence for symbolic communication seems to be there.
How do we know?
Remember the vervet monkey calls? Specific sounds for specific predators. And the camper monkeys, adding affixes for new threats. That shows patterned, meaningful, even innovative vocalization.
Okay, complex calls. But talking about things not present, displacement.
Yeah, that's harder to prove definitively, but there are observations of orangutans and chimps seemingly lying or playing pranks, giving false alarm calls just to get attention, for instance. That suggests thinking and communicating about things not immediately there.
Deceptive communication. Interesting. What about teaching them our language, like sign language?
That's where it gets really mind-blowing. Washu, the chimp, learned 132 signs of American Sign Language.
Wow.
And get this. She taught some of those signs to her adopted infant chimp, Lulis.
She taught her baby signs.
Yes, and Coco the gorilla mastered around 450 ASL signs, understood hundreds of spoken English words. So, if an animal can learn and use hundreds of signs meaningfully, does it lack language? Or just lack human vocal cords?
That really blurs the lines, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if culture, tools, language aren't exclusively human, what does that mean for us? Are we just another primate?
In a fundamental biological sense, yes. Humans are undeniably primates. We share that whole suite of characteristics.
Remind me of those key shared traits.
Okay, strong reliance on vision, eyes facing forward, a tendency towards upright posture, bipedalism, long pregnancies, long childhood dependency, usually single births, delayed maturity. Opposable thumbs for grasping, though ours are much more dexterous. Large brains, high intelligence, flexible limbs, complex social lives groups, hierarchies, affection, altruism, and flat nails instead of claws.
So we have all the primate features.
We do. They're just often expressed maximally in humans. It's not that we have entirely new things, but highly developed versions of traits found across the primate lineage. It's a continuum. The difference is often quantitative, a matter of degree, not qualitative, not a completely different kind of being.
A continuum, I like that. But even on a continuum, there are still differences between us and our closest relatives, the apes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Key differences highlight our specific evolutionary path. Brain size is a big one. Apes average around 400 cubic centimeters, humans around 1,400 cc.
Big difference. Teeth.
Apes have larger canines, often with a gap, a diastema for the upper canine. With small, blunt canines, no gap. Thumbs, too. Ape thumbs have limited opposability compared to our highly opposable thumbs for fine manipulation.
And body proportions.
Apes generally have longer arms, shorter legs, or the opposite. Longer legs, shorter arms, adapted for efficient bipedalism. Feet, too. Apes have grasping feet with an opposable big toe for climbing. We have arched feet, non-opposable big toe, built for walking and running.
What about genetics or reproduction?
Genetically, apes have 24 pairs of chromosomes. We have 23. And protective caps on our chromosomes, telomeres, are present on all of ours. Reproduction. Apes have visible estrus. We have concealed ovulation. Life expectancy is generally shorter for apes. Habitat and diet differ too. Apes often mix trees and ground, more specialized diets. We're primarily ground-dwelling with incredibly varied diets.
So lots of differences, but they still fit on that continuum.
Exactly. These differences, while significant, actually reinforce the idea of a biological and behavioral continuum. Our traits are more developed or adapted differently, but they stem from that shared primate heritage. We differ in degree, not fundamentally in kind.
Wow. Okay, what a deep dive that was. Let's try and recap. We've seen that primates, humans included, share these fundamental biological traits.
Right, from how long pregnancy lasts to how much parents invest, shaping intelligence.
And they're amazing ways of moving adapted perfectly to where they live. Then we dug into their complex social world.
Yeah, the factors shaping group size, like food and danger, the nuances of social hierarchies, the alpha not just being a bully.
Sophisticated communication, vocal calls, body language, even smell, and the full spectrum of interactions.
Aggression, sure, but also those incredible bonds, the grooming, the coalitions, and even altruism, caring for the dying. Adoption.
And those different reproductive strategies, K versus R, quality over quantity, leading sometimes to things like infanticide.
Then we looked at how culture, tool use, even language aren't exclusively human, challenging our uniqueness.
Which brings us back to that powerful idea, the primate continuum. Humans as part of this spectrum, differing in degree perhaps, but not fundamentally in kind.
That's the core takeaway, I think, seeing ourselves as part of that broader primate family.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. If our primate relatives show such complex social lives, make tools, communicate in ways that echo our own, does this challenge our whole idea of what makes us uniquely human?
What new questions does exploring the primate world spark for you, about us, about the animal kingdom?
Something to think about. We really encourage you to keep an eye out for these primate traits, watch documentaries, maybe even notice things in our own interactions.
Because the more we learn about our closest relatives, the more ultimately we understand ourselves.